Well, of course, the tournament was played at a course called Orinda Country Club down in California. California was hosting it. We'd had a good year. The team had done well. I don't know that we certainly weren't considered the favorite in the tournament, but we went to the course and we liked the course right from the start. The guys were all playing well at that time.
We had some good players. You got Ted Himka, who had played really well as a junior and was solid, and Odie and Todd. When you looked at every person, we always felt like, you know, we could play, we could do something here, but we never really put it together. So I think while I don't know that we went there expecting to win, I think there was sort of an upswing in our confidence going into that week.
I don't think we were on anybody's radar screen. I mean, I think we had probably a pretty solid year that year, but you know, all these teams had All-Americans and they've been playing all over the country and all the biggest events, and I don't think we were probably taken seriously at all.
Happy to be there, not even with the idea of winning.
I think we probably were considered in the middle of the pack on the best day. So there was some heads turned when the score started coming in.
When we went down to that tournament, I would say that we loved Orinda Country Club. I think it fit our eye. It felt a lot like Broadmoor. It had some shorter holes, some strategic planning around it, and we had played pretty well that spring. And so I think going in, it wasn't like we expected to win the event, but at the same time, when things were going well for us, we didn't back down. We were very comfortable in the place we were.
We all felt like we could count on each other. We were all into what we were doing on the golf course. And I think we were very much had a sense of consciousness about the fact that we had a chance to win, and as a team we were going to win.
The last round, Odie Vincent had what I consider practically an impossible bunker shot.
It was a par 3. I know I hooked it off the tee, and it was I was up against the back edge of a bunker with kind of a short pin, and there was a tree involved somewhere along the way.
Even Tiger Woods today would look at that shot and say, the chances of me getting that up and down are pretty desperate.
And I know I could just kind of popped it out of there because it was one of those that you could hit thin because of the angle you had to come down. Popped it out of there, it floated out softly and trickled up and made that for par.
He hit the most spectacular bunker shot, I mean, that could possibly be hit in that situation, and I'll never forget that shot. That's really the shot that won the tournament.
And then, you know, the last 3 holes coming in, that was really the last hurdle that we needed to get over. But honestly, back before live scoring, back before all the communication, we had no idea where we stood. I remember to this day putting out on number 18, and I had a long, it was a par 5, and I just tried to get a couple shots in play and then up on the green. And I remember hitting my first putt up there from a long lagging distance, and I was really close to the hole. And I remember I putted out because I just wanted to get it over with, but I didn't know if we were up by 1 or up by 8 or wherever it ended up. And me individually being in the hunt, I just didn't know where we stood, but I was glad it was over at that point. It was kind of a sigh of relief.
We knew we were in the thick of it, but there was no like, oh, you know, you didn't get to the 16th hole and know, all right, our team's up by 2 strokes, you know, we've got to bear down. It wasn't like that at all. Sort of just played your own game, and hopefully when you got in, you contributed something to the overall team score.
We would have had no chance at winning that tournament without Todd Tibke and Scott Whaley. They both tied for 2nd, and the way that they played, not to mention the rest of the team. But I think that goes a little bit overlooked when people think about that event. I mean, we had 3 players, the 3 top finishers really in the event were all from the same school, and that really is the reason that our team won. But sharing that amongst your teammates, sharing it with our coach, and sharing it with your friends, and that sense of accomplishment that we'd all, you know, come together and really beaten the big boys, if you will. Because back in the day, I mean, we had Billy Mayfair in the field, and you know, all kinds of. I mean, we were really sort of underdogs compared to the personnel that a lot of the other schools had.
I have 5 other teammates out there that played with me, and we get to share that together because golf's an individual sport, and have a team thing to share that with the guys. That's what I'm most proud of.
That's the best feeling, is competing as a team and succeeding and working hard together and then making it happen. And I think you realize that later than you do at that moment. I mean, it's an enjoyable moment, it's exciting, but I don't think it's really felt until you kind of go off by yourself and start competing by yourself, and you kind of miss that.
That was really our first conference championship, and beyond that, we went to the NCAAs after that, because there didn't used to be a regional, it was an invitation. So we got an invitation, and we did extremely well at the NCAA championship. And I think, putting Washington on the golf map at that point, in its time and place, was extremely significant.